If you want to speak like a native speaker, there's one particular thing that you can do that will actually help this, and that is adding what we call quantifier phrases into when you speak with adjectives and with nouns. So they're used by native speakers and fluent English speakers all the time for all adjectives and some nouns. So if you use these, you'll sound more natural and you'll sound kind of like a native speaker. See how I did it there? I said kind of like a native speaker. So that's what I'm talking about. They're called quantifier phrases, and doing this is very, very easy. All you have to do is take a quantifier and put it before an adjective, and there you have it. So adjectives such as anything. It could be tired, it could be happy, it could be spicy, it could be boring, it could be exciting. So all those kinds of adjectives will take a quantifier, but it has to be an adjective quantifier. So adjective quantifiers are things like this. So we have kind of and sort of, two of the most common ones. You'll hear that a lot, and they're pronounced as kinda, sorta. So instead of saying I'm tired, you could say I'm kinda tired. How was the movie? It was sorta boring. It was sorta funny. So the context is important because they could mean it in a good way or a negative way. So it was kind of funny, or it was kind of boring. So it doesn't really matter which way you use it. It's just that's the way we do it as native speakers. We also have other ones. We have a little bit and we have a little. So we also have things like a few, but a few is more for countable nouns. So for example, a pen. We have I have a pen. I have pens. I have a few pens, right? But that's more for countable nouns. But if it's a little or a little bit, you could say, instead of saying I'm tired, you could say I'm a little bit tired. I'm kinda tired. I'm a little tired. Hungry. I'm kinda hungry. So there are quantifiers that are adverbs that are used commonly as well that everyone knows, such as very and really. I'm really hungry. I'm really tired. It was really funny. But the ones that native speakers use are kinda, sorta, a little bit, a bit, these things. This is what you have to do. So when someone asks you something like, how was the restaurant? And you could say, it was delicious. So then you start describing the food. The food was a little bit spicy. Instead of saying, the food was spicy, but I liked it, you could say, the food was a little bit spicy, but I liked it. You know, so that's the kind of thing you could say. See, I said, you know. So they're the things that you add in, like, you know, a little bit, kinda, sorta. So that's what I would definitely recommend. There are ones that are a tiny bit more formal, such as quite and somewhat. So quite and somewhat are both used in formal versions, but at the same time, they're not always used. So instead of saying I'm a little bit tired, I'm quite tired, because it's kind of more than a little bit. So I'm quite tired. It's kind of getting to a bit like really tired, but just a little bit more formal, but can be used in any situation. So how was the food? It was quite spicy, but I liked it. Means that it was kind of more than a little bit, but you still liked it, you know. So yeah. Also, things like late. It's getting quite late and I'm getting a little bit tired. So there, that's how we speak. That's now how you need to speak. They're also used with nouns. So if you've got things like me, I'm a horror movie fanatic. A fanatic is someone who loves something like so much. I love horror movies so much. I watch so many of them, so they're fun. Someone might love like romantic movies or anime, so they could say I'm an anime fan. I'm a big fan of anime. I'm an anime fanatic. So we add in the similar kind of things, but we add in an article. So I'm a bit of a soccer fan, for example. I'm something of a soccer fan. So you've got a bit of a, something of a. And you could also say I'm kind of a. I'm sort of a. So a comes with the actual noun itself. So I'm something of a coffee connoisseur. A coffee connoisseur is someone who loves coffee and knows a lot about coffee and just learns about lots of coffee all over the world and likes to try different kinds of coffee. So I'm kind of a coffee connoisseur is what we could say. That's the kind of thing we would use. That's the kind of thing we could use, see? So they're used all the time. They're used for everything. They're used for nouns, they're used for adjectives all the time by native speakers and fluent English speakers. So you've got to start using them. So for example, as well, you could also talk about the weather. How's the weather today? Oh, it's nice, but it's kind of hot. Meaning it's too hot. Like, it's kind of hot. This is why intonation is important. Because you have to focus on what you are saying and what you're trying to mean. That's what we're covering in the next video. So have a look, because we're doing intonation next.